Hey all. So we need to have a serious discussion about mythology, okay? And we need to discuss it as though it was history, not myth. Because that's what it was, history. Now, when you hear mythology, what do you immediately think of? Dragons, monsters, Hercules, fairy tales, right? Well, I mean, you wouldn't be too far off. But what if I told you that all of these stories that you were probably told as a child were in fact real? I mean, what if I told you that all of this craziness happening in the world right now was a direct result of this so-called myth? I mean, you would probably think I was daft, and you'd probably be right. But there's a reason that I'm saying this, okay? Do you remember the column that I wrote in the paper? The one about that obscure comic book? There's a link in the description below in case you missed it. But that comic book, titled Gabriel, was mysteriously pulled off the shelf shortly after that article was published. I mean, the manager of the store says it sold out because of the media attention, but that's bollocks, okay? The copies were removed. Do you know why? I mean, I suspect it explained everything. And I mean everything. Now, I've been trying to piece together the clues from the comic. And here's what I found out so far. Check this out. So this image here is from the first page of the comic. It shows a giant lying dead in a field with a bunch of corpses laying around it, right? Gruesome, I know. Now, do you see this raven flying in? I suspect I know who it is, but I'm not going to say yet until I'm 100% certain. So more on that bird in the future when I've done more research. But this scene is important. That big ugly looking thing, that's Balla. Here's a figure from Celtic mythology, okay? The ruler of an ancient race that once inhabited Ireland called the Fomorians. He was slain by a bloke named Lugh, who is this guy. He was the Celtic god of laws. Now, he shot Balla's evil eye out with a slingshot. Ouch. By the way, if you ever wondered where J.R.R. Tolkien got the idea of Sauron from, it was probably right here. Balla of the Great Evil Eye. Anyway, you see those scary looking things in the background? The things that look like ghosts? Those were the Tuatha De Danann. Did I say that right? The Celtic deities. Anyway, the reason I'm showing this to you is because it is a very important event in Irish history. History, not mythology. This, my friends, is the Second Battle of Moytura. You can read all about it in the link below. It's very important for a number of reasons, but mostly because of this woman, the Morrigan. She looks sexy, creepy, and kind of emo. Well, she's Celtic, the goddess of war, fate, and prophecy, to be exact. Emphasis on the prophecy part. At the end of the battle, the Morrigan gives a prophecy about the end of the world. Now, why is this important? Well, lots of ancient religions have prophecies about the end of the world. Well, most of them, in fact. But the Morrigan's prophecy was about something very, very specific. A family in conflict. Fathers and sons going to war, a daughter's deception. This isn't just about fire and brimstone and everyone drowning in a nice lake of fire. This is about a family being torn apart. And the family's struggle and their eventual reconciliation represents something very, very essential in Celtic belief. Reincarnation. See where I'm going with this? The Morrigan's prophecy wasn't necessarily about how the world will end, but how it will begin again. And that is why this is so important. Gabriel actually tells the story of how this all starts to happen. It's the origin story of a family torn apart, hidden behind what we believe to be world mythology. It is a story about how all of us, our beliefs and religions are inextricably tied together. And I can guarantee that it is directly tied to what is happening now. Guarantee. This book has answers, and I'll show you in time. Just be patient. All I can ask is that you come with me on this journey. We can walk it together, okay? We may not always like what we see, but we absolutely need to see it. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. And you know what? Drop a like if you like it. Till next time, guys, let's start digging.